Hi.
Hi.
Happy pod day.
Pod number 6.
Is it?
Uh-huh.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
How do you think it's going so far?
I think it's fun, do you?
Yeah, I think it's really fun.
I'm having fun with it.
I'm really enjoying doing them.
Same. It's a bit like therapy for us.
Honestly, it's more like therapy than I thought it was going to be. But I enjoy it more than I enjoyed therapy.
Oh, yeah. Therapy is really hard and really traumatic.
But really worthwhile.
Yeah.
Just to anyone who's
Just to anyone,
about
yeah.
it.
I mean, I do think everyone should get therapy.
Yeah.
But it's, you don't look forward to it in the week. Maybe you do actually towards when you're into it.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I found it. We're now talking about therapy.
We're just talking straight about therapy, and we're not therapists.
That's not what we're talking about.
But
I was just going to say that at the beginning, it's like you dread it every week because you're just like throwing all your, what's the saying? You're letting all your beans out the can. You're just like feeling more and more worn down and vulnerable, and then you start to feel good when you realise how much better it is to let it out.
See, that's funny because I had a very different
Did you?
experience of therapy.
Oh, go on.
And before I jump into that, I'd like to preface this with I definitely need to go back to therapy. Like, I'm not done with my lifelong... I mean,
Same.
Realistically, if I could afford it, I'd be going to therapy every week.
We'd both be
and
going.
I just would.
Yeah.
And there would never be an end to that.
Yeah.
Like, if I had unlimited money...
It is an expense.
It is an expense. It's like 50 quid a week for an hour. It's like, that's a lot. But if you spend 50 quid on the gym, it's like take care of your mental health like you take care of
It's
your
a gym for your mind.
physical health. But anyway, my point was going to be that actually I didn't dread it to start with.
Yeah.
But then I realised a while into it that actually like I wasn't getting to the juicy bits.
Really?
Like I wasn't really telling him. I was almost like telling him what he wanted to hear or what I thought he wanted to hear.
Do you know what? That might be a wrong pairing.
Yeah,
that
maybe.
might not be about you. That might be like the first time you've gone really properly as an adult.
Yeah.
And maybe you just like did that with him. And maybe if you have a different therapist, you'll be much more honest. You never know.
Maybe. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Sometimes they say like if you start acting a certain way with your therapist, it's because you don't feel fully comfortable.
Well, yeah, it's like immediately if you're not telling the absolute truth to your therapist, then cut that off.
Completely, because
like,
it's a waste, yeah.
What's the point? Yeah.
I don't think it was a waste for you, though, if I'm allowed to say that, because I feel like there was such a difference in you because you were kind of bursting to let it out to somebody. Mm-hmm. So at that point, it was like very necessary and you were very different after. But I do think if you're going to go back in, you do need to go deeper than you went, probably.
Yeah, agreed. I think I kind of like scratched the surface with what I thought I needed to get off my chest at that time in my life with my therapist.
Which you did.
Which I did, and it was definitely useful.
Yeah.
But I just think I could probably go deeper if I had another go at it.
I agree. You're a very open person.
Yeah.
And if you find the right therapist, I do think I don't think there's anything you would hold back because it's like, I think you're good at talking. It's just, I don't think it was the right match for you at the time.
I actually really liked my therapist and I had quite a lot of respect for him. And I wonder if that actually was detrimental to my therapy because it's like, I was almost holding back what I wanted to say. Truly, this sounds like...
Go on, we've gone straight in.
Oh, mate, we're just doing it. It's like, what's the point in going to therapy if you feel like this? But I almost felt like, I don't want to put this on you, man.
Oh, my God.
It's like I'm talking...
Saying I don't want to put this on you to your therapist, that is so true. That is so how I thought you were being in there.
Really?
Like, you didn't want to upset him or like...
Yeah.
You didn't want to be... It's almost like you wanted to just like let him do his job, make it be easy every week. You're like, it's all right. And it's actually, you're not an inconvenience to him. You're paying him to be
exactly
for work that's going to take probably the rest of your life. But probably in your mind you were like, I won't be long, like, don't worry. It's like, that is not the vibe.
Yeah, it's not the vibe.
How interesting.
However, yeah, I did feel better after it.
I don't think we should like discredit your therapy journey, because it definitely helped you at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think that's so funny, because that's how you are in your life. You can't switch that off with a therapist.
Yeah, I guess not. It's hard to find the line between, like, I'm definitely very driven and like do what I want, get what I want, get what I'm like focused on, and like have a goal, but also like I don't like upsetting people.
Yeah, completely.
You know, I don't like upsetting people unnecessarily.
So interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think you've recognised that, which is half of it. So now when you go back in to do therapy again, you probably will be a bit more like, I don't care if I've like ruined your day by telling you all this dramatic stuff. I need to get it off my chest.
Yeah.
Maybe you became too friends with him. I remember when you would come out and you were like to me, I was asking him like things, like you were kind of being like, you wanted to know about him, and it's like, it's so you've got to be one-sided. It's got to be all about you, which is it's just practice, probably.
For sure. Agreed.
Interesting though. Therapy is a very interesting topic.
Yeah, very.
Can I just say before we begin our convo?
Yeah.
Really, like, obviously we've been getting more views. I know we've already mentioned that, like on our reels and stuff. And I just want to shout out my friends who are really backing this. Like, obviously I want loads of different people to listen to it, but my friends are, shout out Holly. Holly needs a shout out. She listens to it in her car on the way home and to work, and I just think it's so heartwarming that not only my friends like hear me all the time talking in real life, but they want to,
they also are now just listening to us.
Now they're just listening to us chatting shit, and it's really like, I feel very grateful that I've got such good mates who
cool.
back it and support.
You've got a good group.
Yeah,
got a good group around you.
Completely.
Which is cool.
Just wanted to shout out Holly.
Cool.
Give her a moment of silence. I'm joking. But anyway, what were you gonna say?
Nothing really. There was we've had a couple of different thoughts about what we can talk about.
Topic ideas.
Yeah.
One of them was this weekend we had a bit of a like tough weekend. Just with the dog like being a puppy and being naughty, and we had a bit of a bad situation, and we were just like, oh, weekends are so much pressure to like have them be perfect and nice, and we were talking about it in the car, do you remember? And then we were like, maybe we should talk about that on the pod. Sometimes we're just chatting and then we're like, we should talk about that on the pod.
Yeah, it's like, stop talking. Save this
Literally,
for the pod.
save all your thoughts.
Yeah.
But I did think that was quite an interesting...
I think that's super interesting. So, like, what happened on Saturday was that Frida's just being naughty at the moment, right? She just seems like she's being naughty.
Yeah.
I think she's about to come on heat again, which, like,
Explains
makes
a lot.
her go crazy. She's
like
been like
frantic.
zooming around the house, like really frantic.
Can't sit in a cafe with her at the moment.
So Saturday morning we like got up. What were we doing? We
met
walking.
Tate.
Oh yeah, we were walking
Shout
to meet
out Tate.
Yeah.
Went to
for a
Fika,
coffee, and then we were going to walk into town.
Yeah.
And it's like already, if we were like really smart, we would have just stopped those plans before they even happened.
We would have put her in the car. And given her a bone and watched her from the coffee shop.
Exactly.
That's probably what we should have done.
Yeah.
But we were like, let's just...
So we started walking to meet Tate.
Yeah.
And we were like, we know this is going to be hard. We like spoke to each other about it. Like, this is going to be the difficult part of the day.
She's like pulling on the lead. We're walking on the street.
Let's just like be cool.
Yeah. Positive energy to each other. I was like, let's just breathe. Like, if you feel angry, pass me the lead. Like, she can sit next to Tate.
Like, I get really frustrated. Like,
I know.
she, like...
So do I.
I just want her to be... I want her to be good.
Same. I want her to be like a calm energy.
She's a puppy. So it's like,
silly.
it's hard. Yeah, we ask a lot of her, I think.
Especially when she's on heat. Don't take your dog to a cafe when they're on heat. Like, that's
exactly.
kind of the point. But yeah, we had
so
a
then
bad...
she like scrambled at a dog like 1 minute into the walk and got my new shoes muddy.
Yeah.
And I was like, immediately just like, that's fucking annoying. Like
the day's over. Like, we've all, like, the energy was like...
It just changed the energy. And it's like, I really regret letting that change the energy, but at the time there was nothing I could do about it. I was just like annoyed. I was just so annoyed. It was just like so frustrating to have to deal with that. And also, like, I was annoyed that I'd let it annoy me, even though we'd just spoken about having a good day. So anyway, then
you just didn't have much patience in that
exactly.
moment.
I'm just like at the end of my tether with her, really.
Yeah, same.
So then that's frustrating. We get to the cafe and she just like barks and barks and barks and barks. Like, was just quite difficult at the cafe. And then
Tate was an angel with her.
Tate is so good. Loves staffies.
She loves dogs, so she gets the vibe. She's like pushing her down onto the floor. She's like, just sit down and shut up.
You just have to be a bit, like, she's just boisterous. Frida is just boisterous, so it's like you have to just be a bit boisterous back, I think, and be calm.
Yeah.
Anyway. Then what happened? We tried to walk into town, and it just like
we had an argument. Which is what happens when things are heated and the dog's being difficult. It makes us just fuming and frustrated, and then we just bicker.
And Ella's dad walked past.
Oh my god, yeah! Shout out Ella's dad, Dan Drury. He walked past.
Sorry, I
don't think he's going to listen to this. But like you
said hi really quickly and then just didn't say anything, so I was so
I
annoyed.
didn't even know he'd walked past. That's how angry I was.
Because there was a woman with a chihuahua trying to introduce her chihuahua to Frida while she's spinning on a lead like that. And
while
like
Ella's dad's walking past, and it's just like, I'm just completely looking at the floor. Like,
can't deal with this already. So anyway, we went home and had a shit Saturday, basically.
Yeah, we had a shit Saturday. We tried to pull it back. We went for a walk in the countryside after. I was just upset. We went home and it was just like, you know, when you just... Oh, and this is why we were going to talk about this on the pod. When you live with your partner, like, there's no getting away from the energy. So, like, you can both be, like, in the car, like, let's go home and have a nice evening and, like, let's have a drink or a cup of tea and watch telly and just, like... But you need to be apart. It's almost like when you argue and you're just together and but you live separately, and then you go home and... you be on your own for 5 minutes and you have a bath and you sort out your stuff and then you text them and be like, sorry about that, like, I'm fine now. But when you live together, like, we live in a flat, like, there's no, I can't go onto another floor and like sit in a room with the door shut. That's not really our vibe of our flat. It's all very open, so there's nowhere to go, and that is really hard. I mean, obviously you can go for a walk around the block and stuff like that, which I never really think to do that in the moment. I think next time, if we've had a bad day, and it's not that we're arguing anymore, it's just like you need to reset the energy. Yeah. One of you needs to go out. I think one of us should just go and have a coffee at the end of the road, or like go to the shop, or just walk around and then come back, because it was so tough to like...
What also happens often is that like the energy will change because something will have happened or come up or whatever. And then like... One of us will get over it.
Yeah.
Be ready to reset.
Yeah.
And then actually it's usually me. Like, basically what I'm trying to say is I'll just flip my mood. It'll be like I've flicked a switch and I'm ready to be cool again.
Yeah.
And then I go back to my like standard happy guy.
Yeah.
And you're like... That's difficult for me because I'm not over it yet.
100%. Yeah. I'm always like got the lingering kind of like feeling in my body that's like, oh, we've had a bad day, and like, oh, why have we had a bad day, and like da da da. And Lewis is like joking around and dancing and like snapping back into being friends, and that's really tough because that's when I need to go off, I think, and then come back.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so tough because I think our strength is that we're very good at having a really stressful situation with the dog or with work or something, and then we are very good at being friends again. It's just sometimes when it's like a Saturday, and this is what I wanted to talk about on the pod, the pressure of a weekend is a real thing. And like, I don't know if other couples have this, or other people in general, like single people as well. Like when it comes to the weekend and you haven't exactly like planned out your weekend hour for hour sort of thing. And then like it starts to rain, or like you don't make it to breakfast, or like you don't know what to do. And then you just are kind of a bit like, the feeling isn't great, because it's like, well, you've wasted the Saturday now. Like the pressure of a Saturday is a lot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Agreed.
Don't get me wrong, like I love weekends, and I like that everybody gets to chill out. Well, not everybody, but if you have like the Saturday off and stuff, it's nice. But I do think when you're in a relationship and you've been together all week like us, and then it comes to the weekend, it's like, what are we going to do? Like what are we going to do in this day to make it like as good as a Saturday could be? Because we're not going to have another one for, however many days.
A week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's like there's just like a unspoken pressure.
That's it.
About making the most of the weekend.
Yeah.
And I think it's weirder for us because of our like lifestyle, I guess.
Yeah.
The fact that we have fun while we're working.
Mm-hmm.
We work together in the same space.
In our own time as well.
Yeah. Like you more so than me. But like
true.
So that's the thing. Like I still do get like a Saturday feeling.
Yeah.
Whereas it's sort of like unspoken that you just don't really work on a Saturday, right? And I would rarely take on work on a Saturday.
Yeah.
So like Saturday is the free day.
Yeah.
But it's weird for us because we are sort of doing something close to a Saturday every day. I feel like.
Same.
Because it's like we get up and we have a coffee.
And we take the dog for a walk. And we very, very lucky to say
wander to the studio.
We walk to the studio. So when we go to a coffee shop on Saturday and it doesn't hit the same, it's like, and it's like, well, we've been doing this kind of all week.
Yeah.
Which is so privileged and lucky that we can do that. But it's fun. It's a funny like feeling, isn't it? Because it's like, we have to do something different to get our date time in. It's almost like
there has to be something really special about the weekend to make it feel like...
Yeah.
And I don't make plans.
No.
I'm not a plan guy.
No, I am.
Really, so like I'll just do something if it's on or like you're doing something that I'm coming to.
Yeah. So like if it gets to like a few weeks go by, I'm like, let's book a date. Like we need to go on a date and we need to like go and have dinner us two and dress up a bit nice and leave Frida at home and just like hold hands and walk down the street.
Yeah.
And it's like, then I think once we do that, I feel a lot more like, that kind of buzz of like, feels, or if we're on holiday.
Yeah. That's like a completely different
never,
point
but
there.
yeah. You know what I mean though? It's so funny. And I think people can hopefully relate to this who maybe live with their partner or are just like single and feel the pressure of the weekend. Like if you like don't book in to see your mates and the next thing you know it's Sunday afternoon and you're like, fuck, I've not done anything.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just ADHD people like me who always kind of want to fill the time with nice stuff. We were saying that, weren't we, in the car? Yeah.
We did make Sunday good, though. Yeah. Like, we had a good Sunday.
Yeah, we did have a good Sunday.
Gave the dog to the dog walker.
We sent Frida away for a few hours so we could have some time together.
And then went and had a roast and went for a walk for Emily's birthday.
Happy
birthday, Emily.
Happy birthday, Emily. It was so nice to have a breather. And that's what I think it's all about, moderation. If things get too much, have a break.
Yeah.
And you feel better after.
Mm-hmm.
We're good at doing that, I think.
Yeah.
If you get burnt out at work, just go home.
Just go home. You're like taking off at 2:00 every day.
I'm not. That's not true. I do like to go home to have a change of scene, and then I keep working at home.
Very exciting news. 2 pieces of really exciting news for you, actually.
For me?
Yeah, one happened yesterday, one happened today.
Oh, yeah.
Can I introduce them?
Yeah, I don't know what happened today. What happened today?
Yesterday, you became director of She Paints Limited.
We bought the name.
Congratulations.
Can't believe I haven't done that yet.
I know, absolutely ridiculous.
Lewis was like, you haven't done that yet? I was like, nope. Anybody else could just have bought it. But now they can't.
Now it's officially a company that
Thanks
you are the director of. And sole shareholder.
Maybe I should put in my bio, director.
Yeah.
Can't do that yet.
Yeah, fair.
So that was a good piece of news.
That was a good piece of news.
Oh, we've got some news about you.
What?
About football.
Oh.
Let's say. Things have got better.
I'm better at football now.
Guys, that got quite a lot of air, so you do need to tell everybody the update.
Yeah. Well, did we not say on the next podcast that actually I played all right that week?
Yeah, but we haven't said about what's been going on recently.
I've started to score goals.
Score.
With my feet.
With my feet.
Yeah.
And you scored.
And I scored the winning goal yesterday or the day before.
That's my man right there, David Becks.
Yeah, DB.
DB.
So
things can really change in a heartbeat over here. You've got to keep up.
Yeah, things can change. And I think I actually want to put a lot of my success at football on talking about it on the podcast.
It's all you guys.
Because I spoke about it and then I just changed my mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Went in there as pretty much gave it a last ditch effort.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I'll do one more week. And here we are.
He's a goal scorer, which must make you feel so much better now when you go and play.
So much better.
So that's amazing news. That was your news?
Yeah. I still haven't had any new work come in at the start of the new year.
I keep telling Lewis it's literally the beginning of Jan, so you don't need to panic.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a hard feeling. And I know how you feel, and I've felt like it before. And there's nothing anyone can say. You just want to start grinding and getting back into work.
Yeah. And you've got loads of work on at the moment. The first week of your year has been great.
Been great. It's so funny. We're never like the same. It's always one of us has work, the other one doesn't.
Yeah.
And vice versa. It's never ever we're both really busy or we both have nothing. Do you think?
Yeah.
Actually, sometimes we're both busy, and
sometimes we both have nothing.
Well, not that often. It's always like one of us feels low about no work coming in, and the other one can kind of like build you up because you feel okay.
Yeah. So
I really I'm so proud of you for like cracking on though. You haven't you're still like getting up, going to the gym, doing all your outreach, getting dressed, coming in. You're being amazing.
Yeah. Got to keep going, and got to keep like plugging.
Of course.
But it's so easy to like slip into like I'm getting no work and
nothing's
that
ever
shit
gonna happen,
and like what am I meant to do?
It's so funny because with you, you're always. It always, I know everyone says it always comes along at once, but it does. You always have like 2 things on at once, or you're like here, there, and everywhere, and I don't see you, and we can't. And it's so tight to the line, or it's like a few weeks when nothing happens.
Yeah.
And we always say whenever the work comes in that you can't panic in these weeks.
It's true.
But that's just the freelance struggle. It's so hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all just fun over here, guys. It's stressful sometimes.
It is pretty stressful. I would love to find a way of like getting some like constant drip feed, you know.
I think it just with time that will happen.
Yeah.
We've seen it happen in the past with you where one thing ends and another one comes.
Yeah.
Also, you do have work coming in that you spoke about yesterday.
Potentially.
Okay.
It's all just potential, and that's like what's so hard, because like lots of people, I've spoken to lots of people about potential work this year already, and like just like hasn't come through.
Just like send a message, come on.
Yeah.
But
so,
next week when we do this pod, we might be saying, "Oh, like you're fine."
Yeah, for sure. It's just so hard because like I'm sure I could find work doing stuff that I don't really want to do, or like I could find a few days of like assisting work.
Yeah.
But it's like I kind of wanted to start the new year doing what I'm chasing this year.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Not like just picking up random days of work
just for the sake of it,
like because I need the cash.
But the thing is, like, I think if you were to the line and you needed it to pay your rent, you would be doing that. But with your thing, it's like the other thing takes care of living, but this extra, like, your freelance work kind of is like a top up. Do you know what I mean? So it's like if you were in a desperate state, then yeah, do that. But I know what you mean. It's like a new year and you've got new goals. You don't want to be
like I want to be chasing the goals that I wrote down.
It's hard to do shit work you don't want
to do. Like, stuff that isn't on my goal list, but
got to be realistic. We don't know how long.
I'm not making any money.
Yeah,
we're going to New York in
in
like 3 months, so it's like I should.
A lot can change then by then.
Oh yeah.
With your job as well, like in the film world, it's like you get one email and it's like, poof, you're sorted.
Changes everything.
Mine is like drip feeding me cash through sales that are like da-da-da-da-da-da. Yours is like one thing that will be fine, that will make it fine.
I sort it out for a couple of months.
But yeah, we're going to New York, which is exciting.
Really exciting, yeah.
That's all I think about every day and night.
In fact, if anyone has any
recs,
recs for New York, like please do
send them over.
Send them over.
Cheers.
I haven't even thought about what we're going to do in New York. I'm leaving that up to you, really.
I've literally made like an itinerary of what we're doing.
It's fun.
It's just eating and drinking. Another very interesting thing that we haven't actually spoke about on the pod is the fact that Lewis is vegan. And I think, not that that's like news breaking, but a lot of my friends find it quite fascinating and like how it works with us living together. I'm not vegan. And like what the vibe is with that, because it's actually a huge part of your life.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it is. It's like your diet is like, you do it every day. It's like, it's a big thing. But how we have navigated it and do navigate it, I think is really interesting. And a lot of people ask me how we do it, because we're both foodies. Cringy to say that. But like, it's just interesting. So I think we should say how you feel about it, and like, first of all, like, when did that start and stuff? This could be such
like bad news for me and you.
What do you mean?
Well, because like every time we get into any sort of conversation about it, we
get heated.
Really difficult.
Well, this is a great place to do it, because we can't lose our like patience with it.
And I have to try and look like not an Aggie vegan on the podcast.
Good luck.
Okay, so
start from the beginning.
Well, firstly, what I'd like to say is being vegan isn't a diet. Just to correct
Wow, ding, ding, ding. We're starting, off we go. Okay. It's a lifestyle.
There's so much more to me being vegan, or me like not eating animal products than like physically not putting them in my mouth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
how long have you been vegan for?
I've been vegan for like 7 or 8 years.
Okay.
And I feel great for it. I got really fat last year, and I'm losing all the weight again.
Yeah.
So
we were comfort eating.
Hasn't really affected. Like, I'm not like a skinny vegan.
No.
I was fat, and I'm gonna be in the best shape of my life this year. 100%. Fitness journey is on the way.
Defo.
Just to put that out there. So yeah, been vegan for a long time. Never thought that I would ever be in a relationship with someone who wasn't vegan.
Can we just get that in writing? How mad. It was actually on your Hinge profile saying like, swipe me if you're vegan. And I just looked past it and tapped on that window. But what I find interesting is like, what was the turning point for you? Because you were like a meat eater before, and like,
oh right, so I was.
Why did you start being vegan? Let's start there.
So I was eating meat, and then my girlfriend at the time was vegetarian and had been vegetarian for forever, for her whole life. And then what it actually was the family dog died.
Interesting.
And I was like, oh, this is strange that I'm so upset about the dog dying, but I'm cool to eat pigs and cows and chickens. And like kind of questioned like, why do I care so much about the dog and like don't care about anything else? And then it's very easy, like for me it was very quick. I like did a bit of research, but I had kind of already like made up my mind that like I was doing something hypocritical at least.
Yeah.
And that
because you're an animal lover,
I should look into that, you know. So then I was veggie for like 6 months, and then the trouble with being veggie is like if you're veggie for animals, then you kind of have to be vegan because
you're eating like the dairy industry and everything is just as bad, right?
Dairy and eggs, like all the animals that are involved in that process go to slaughter and actually are tortured for years before they go to slaughter anyway. So there's just like so much fucked up with the dairy, eggs and meat industries all wrapped together that it's like I couldn't be veggie. And
for those reasons,
like veggie for animals like is hypocritical in itself.
Yeah. What I think is what I love about you is it's kind of like the reason that you're vegan and how much like you adore animals and you think they should have the same respect as humans. It really like flows into your personality.
100%.
Like that is why I fell in love with you because you treat everybody so kindly and so you're so gentle with like humans and animals, and it's like you being like, I can't imagine you not being vegan because it just wouldn't match with how you act in everyday life.
What I think me being vegan is like a good representation of the amount of compassion that I try to live my life with.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
It's like I try to be compassionate to people, and I try to be compassionate to animals.
And what I think, like with this conversation, what's interesting is that like we met. Obviously, you were like very aware that I wasn't even vegetarian. Really, I ate quite a lot of meat when I lived at home, and then that was like fine because we would eat together, and I'd just eat vegan because you're such a good cook. And
so you ate vegan for a long time.
For a really long time.
Like when we were
because I was just
to know
like
each other. It was like
I
just cooked and you just ate it.
And I was always at your house, so like there wasn't normal butter and cheese, and I was kind of just like getting into the vibe. I'm just being so like in awe of you that I was just like, no, I don't need cheese, whatever. And then it was a huge shift when we actually moved in together because we're sharing a fridge at this point. Like, obviously, I'm not going to bring Parmesan over to your house if you're making pasta for one night. Like, I just won't have any cheese on it, or I'll have vegan cheese. But, like, when you live together, you're like, I was a bit like, oh, hang on a minute. Like, this is my life. Like, this is me every day. And, like, I don't have the same beliefs as you. This is like where we start to have, it's difficult. But like, I don't have the same beliefs as you, which is fine. We're different people. But like, I want you to be comfortable with our fridge and like the smells and the having stuff in your fridge that you don't believe in is hard for you because this is your house. But also, like, I want to feel comfortable in my house and be able to eat what I want as well. So that's where we had like a bit of a tricky thing. And like, you could just say, oh, you know, have a different shelf. But it's like, don't know, it's so morally wrong for you. Like, we're not saying like, oh, Lewis is just a little bit, you know, vegan or vegetarian just for like,
or it's not
fitness.
like I don't like cheese.
Yeah, it's not like you're trying to be healthy. It's like you have an emotional reason why you don't eat these things and it makes you feel sad. And so it's like, it's a very different thing for me to be like having fish in the fridge. It's weird, isn't it? Like, we have to really, when you obviously live with somebody, you have to dance around each other and be happy with your situation. And like, yeah, I do have my own stuff in the fridge. Like, I have my own cheese and we have the same butter now, kind of just like having the same butter. But when we eat, like, I mainly eat vegan because you cook and I love it. But then I have my little bit on the side, like fish on the side, dairy on the side that I add in later. So it's all fine. We're not saying it's like a huge issue, but it's something that is tough. And people might be thinking, why is it tough? But it's like, I don't understand. I understand where you're coming from, but I'm obviously not jumping on the bandwagon with you. And you can't understand where I'm coming from. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I understand where you're coming from.
No, but as in like, you might, because you think it's so, I'm just trying to think about how to word it. Like, you think it's like so morally wrong and I'm still doing it. So that must be really weird for you to be in love with somebody and live with somebody who doesn't believe the same thing as you.
Yeah, that's the point.
Do you get what I mean?
The point for me is like, I'm so like sure of how I feel about that topic.
Yeah.
Animal abuse and animal torture and eating animals. Like, that it's so hard for me to be in love with someone who doesn't feel the same. That
deserves a bit of air. Like, that is like tough. And I don't think people would think that just listening to a pod where they're talking about being vegan. Like, that's actually like quite deep.
It's so deep.
For you.
It's really, really fucking deep, because it's like, it's like almost weird that I fell in love with you.
Yeah,
because
well, I think that, because it's like,
I can't believe that
how do you have mutual
got
ground?
over it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
it sounds dramatic, I'm not saying it is, but some people might be listening to this being like, you just have different views. But it's like, don't know, when you merge your lives with somebody,
like, it's quite an integral part of
who you are,
who I am.
Yeah,
my beliefs
it's
and
part
my
of your personality,
lifestyle and my choices, are like all affected by the fact that, like, I know that it's cruel. I know that the meat industry is cruel.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm not going to be a part of that. And you are.
Yeah.
And you know, because I've said, but you're still cool with it. Like, that's fucking hard for me.
Yep. And I'm not, and like that, and that's where we get stuck with our convos, because it's like, I don't have the same, it's so hard. I mean, other people, like, I eat dairy, I eat fish, I eat a little bit of meat. As I said before, like, I don't eat it every day, but I'm not vegan, and I don't have the same passion in my soul and in my stomach like you do for the cause. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if that's like where I'm at in my life. Maybe when I'm older I will feel like that, but I don't feel like that right now. Which is really hard, because we've merged our lives and we want to be on the same page. And we want to have kids together, which is a whole nother topic of like how we're going to raise our children, because I love, like, I don't see anything negative about this and about you being vegan, being honest. I'm not like, oh, it's so annoying. Like, I think it's a great stance to have. I think if you teach our children to be gentle and kind to animals, like, I'm going to love that. Like, that's, if our kids are anything like you, I will be over the moon. It's just going to be a bit complicated when mum does eat cheese, but dad's told us it's really mean.
Yeah, that's complicated for me, because like I don't want to have to explain to my kids that it's cruel to do this, but mum does it.
Exactly. That's like, a whole nother
that's
topic.
Horrible.
Yeah, that's something we should probably go to therapy and talk about.
Well, I just feel like unless the therapist is vegan, they won't understand how I feel.
Yeah.
So I also feel really like kind of closed off. Or like, no, that's not what I meant. I feel almost like I have no one to turn to in this situation.
Yeah.
I feel like we can't really talk about it because
we get stuck like this as well.
I feel like I almost feel like I wouldn't want to bring it up to other vegans, because when I was vegan and I was with a vegan, together in a relationship with a vegan, if someone said that, if a vegan said that they were with someone who wasn't vegan,
you'd be like, why?
I was like, how?
Exactly, yeah.
Like,
now that's you.
And now it's me.
So that's mad.
So it's just like how I find that I'm like, I feel quite hypocritical now in this situation, because I never ever thought that I would want to be with someone who wasn't vegan.
Also, our friends and family aren't vegan.
Yeah,
so there's not like a sprinkling of people that we're around all the time that can relate to you and be like, I know how you feel, blah, blah, blah. There's literally like nothing. So I completely like feel for you in that respect, because it's so hard for you. It must be so hard for you.
It's hard because there's not. I'm not surrounded by people that I can talk to about it, and also like people are supportive. Don't get me wrong. Like your family are supportive.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But they're not supportive, like as in they're telling you to be vegan.
No,
because they're not vegan.
Exactly. Yeah.
So why would they think that they need to tell you to be vegan? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're not on my. Then not that I'm telling you. I'm not telling you to be vegan.
No, we should actually preface this with like background with us. Like, there is no. I just want to say, because people might be wondering, there's no pressure for me to turn vegan. You have accepted me for me, and that's really important, because if I open up the conversation, don't get me wrong, of course you're going to be explaining it to me and educating me, but like, I just want people to know that this isn't like a toxic, coercive thing where like I feel like I can't do what I want. Like, Lewis lets me be me, and I think that's really important, even though that is difficult for you. Like, you fall in love with someone who's not vegan and it's so important to you, and like, that's really lovely that you still love me and that like we live together. And do you know what I mean? I just want to like say that.
Yeah, I love that. Thanks.
That like, I really appreciate that it's not ideal.
Yes.
For you. And for me, I'm not really losing anything. It's like, there's no downside to living with a vegan. You're an amazing cook. I eat less meat. It's better for my health. Like, yeah, I buy my own stuff to have on the side, but like, I still get to live exactly how I want. Whereas for you, it's like, it's more. I think it's definitely more difficult for you than me.
Yeah,
so like,
I would say so.
Just want to say that.
Thanks.
You know what I mean? People might be listening to this being like,
he sounds toxic.
He sounds toxic, and I don't want you to, and I don't think you do. But I just, it's tough for you because it's truly what you believe.
Mate, the weird thing is, like, I hate saying. I say it all the time, like my beliefs or like what I believe, right? But it's like, it sounds like a cult when you say,
I know
what I believe.
Sorry.
When no, I'm not digging at you. I'm just there's so much around like the language that's used around, like for me that is triggering, right? Because saying like my beliefs makes it sound like I believe in something made up.
Yeah, like, oh, what you believe in, and we're all doing something else.
It's like I believe in Santa Claus.
Yeah.
It's like, no, what I believe in
is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I believe that it's wrong to torture animals. Like, that's not the same as believing in Santa. You know?
I also think there'll be people listening to this who are probably like, why don't you just be vegan? To me.
Just make me, I'm one of them.
Yeah. But like, make Lewis's life easier. Like,
don't do it to make my life easier.
No, I know,
do it because you don't want to be involved in dairy calves being taken away from their mothers as soon as they're born. Like, it's horrendous.
I know.
It's horrible.
But I've got to authentically want to do that.
100%.
Because I tried to do that at the beginning of meeting you. Like, oh, I'll just not eat this anymore. And then it was like, I need to do it for the right reasons. I was just doing it for you, and that doesn't last.
So there's another thing that I feel like is important, is that there's like a strange dynamic where I almost respect and love you to the point where I don't want to even tell you what happens in a slaughterhouse, and I don't want to make you watch all of the documentaries that would make you feel bad about yourself and make you go vegan.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't really want to do that because I don't want to upset you. And that is so fucked up from a vegan perspective, because it's like, I don't want to upset you. I wouldn't give anyone else the
luxury of
I wouldn't give anyone else the luxury of not being upset because they're paying for animals to have their heads cut off. That's grim.
Yeah.
Like, you deserve to be upset about that because you're paying for it.
Yeah.
Or you at least deserve to be shown exactly what you're paying for, right? But then there's like this part of me, I guess half of it is for like an easy life because I don't want to cause trouble in our house.
In our life, yeah.
I don't want to I don't want to upset you, but it's like, I'm upset, and I wouldn't, if anyone else wanted to talk about it, I wouldn't give anyone else the
I don't
respect.
want to upset you, but it's because it's me.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like I think that if people who are vegan listen to this, they're gonna think I'm a fucking idiot.
Do you not want to put this out?
No, it's fine.
I really don't want you to feel embarrassed by me.
It's cool. And if like vegan people wanted to talk about this, wanted to open a conversation with me about
bring them
this,
on the
pod. I will understand all the points that people make about me at this point now not giving animals the respect that they deserve because of what I'm saying about how I treat you. I think there's a part of me that will never truly be comfortable knowing that animals still are treated how they are for food.
Yep.
So I think that there's always going to be, like, the world isn't going to be vegan by the time I die.
No.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either. I think it's going to be a bit more of a slow process. So our kids might be alive, and it might be like vegan meals in schools will be normal, and there won't be so much like they're vegan. It will be much more normalized. But I don't think it's going to be. It's an interesting topic, and it's also something that it ebbs and flows. It will ebb and flow in our life, and we'll come up to hard things about it, in different ways. And we're great at talking about things. And you've just accidentally fallen in love with me.
Yeah.
That's really tough.
And you just accidentally ate a bit of cheese.
Exactly. That's all it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be mad having kids.
I know.
And trying to
navigate this situation.
Yeah.
There could be a worse situation to navigate.
Mate, I think we've got it in us to navigate it. 100%. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's the only thing we really disagree on.
Yeah.
Apart from
I think it's the only thing that we disagree on that we can't conclude a conversation about.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to disagree on. It's kind of like religion.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a bit like two people being in different religions but them completely contradicting each other. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then
I don't like comparing veganism to religion. No, and I know you weren't doing that, but I feel like I have to get that out there.
Okay,
like
the situation.
I believe in it being cruel to torture animals, which is not the same as
I didn't
religion.
mean that.
I'm not saying that to you.
Okay.
I'm saying that to
everybody else.
To the viewers.
Sorry everyone. I meant disagreeing on something with your partner that you can never resolve.
It's like two people having different religions
Yeah.
and believing completely different things.
And then
but I bet you don't see that very often, do you?
No,
probably
because
not.
It
doesn't work.
Yeah. It's so funny because we're talking about it now, but we never talk about it.
No, well, like you said, it ebbs and flows.
Sometimes it comes to a head and then we talk about it. But, day to day, we're not... Like, if we're in the supermarket and we're making dinner and we're having... I don't know, we're buying vegetables and then I'm like, oh, I'm going to get some fish to have and I'll go off and get it and you'll get your, like, thing to have with it. It's like, we're never in the...
Yeah, but I've learnt to just get on with that situation.
That
doesn't mean I'm, like, happy that it's happening.
No, I know, but, like, we're not arguing about it in the supermarket.
No.
Which is, I think we've got to say that, because that would be a nightmare. If it was, like, every day us coming head to head, like... don't do that, I don't want you to eat that. Like, obviously we wouldn't be together. That would be a really toxic situation.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a thing.
It's a thing, but we're making it work.
I love you.
I love you too. Good shit.
Should we leave it there?
Yeah, let's leave it there.
How long have we been talking for?
An hour.
Wow.
I thought that this episode was going to be shit.
Same. I didn't think we had much to talk about.
We just pulled that out of the absolute bag.
Out the bag and into the pod.
Anything to say to the haters, other people?
Just
keep watching, keep sharing it with your friends.
Yeah, I'm getting hate, but
no.
Haters be hating. I'm joking.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Really enjoy doing this. We've got our routine now. We know when we're doing it each week.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you enjoyed this convo. I hope, it's educated some people about things. If you have a vegan partner and you're not vegan, let us know.
Yeah, that's true. I would love to hear.
Just DM us if you have this same situation, which is quite niche.
Yeah.
But it would be so interesting if anybody else does.
Yeah, I'm interested in just hearing about other people's situations.
Yeah.
And also if anyone has any advice.
Yeah.
And like
give us some advice.
Tips and tricks for how they navigate that, because it's difficult.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
Cool. Love ya.
Cool.
Love doing the pod with ya.
Love ya. Bye.
Bye.